All right, so I'm back. I made a video the other day, and it was speaking on my the childhood sexual abuse, and this can be a little mini series, but this is called "You Are Free, Live," and with that, there was a situation that happened. I'm gonna fast track this because this is a remake of the original one, the second part that I created. I remember I was about what 15, 16, and I was in the 10th grade, and there was these two guys. I remember walking home. So by this time, let me tell you the backstory. By this time, I was already in foster care for the second time, and it was after the family had discovered or found out that I was gay, and they, after trying this foster agency, that foster agency, and a lot of them wouldn't take me because of that fact. So long story short, I ended up down in southern Indiana, and I remember with a beautiful family. And so I remember walking home. It was on a Friday, and I've always kind of been like a loner, and make a video about that another time. But I was walking home, and there was these two guys. I remember like it was yesterday, and they was driving in a BMW, and that's what caught my eye. Was I like, oh my God, that's a nice car. That's a really nice car, and I commented on it, and I remember them driving up, and then they slowed down, and they gestured for me to come to the car, and I remember them asking me, "Hey, do you want to make some money?" I'm thinking to myself like, are they thinking I'm a prostitute or something or what? So I remember I was like, "What? Like, what are y'all talking about?" Oh, well, you can take a couple pictures for us, and we'll pay you for it. Okay. I'm a teenager, and I'm in the foster home at this time, whatever. So there's things you want, and so you yeah. You know what I mean, like that's almost a no-brainer or whatever at the time. You know, the CDs and clothing outfits and all that stuff, whatever, right? So, long story short, so I ended up going with them, and over a series of a couple different times, I was just going over there, just basically hang out. Caught myself trying to be grown, right? And I remember one time it was about the third or fourth time I went over there, and they slowly like prepped and like led up to it. So they 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 ended up coercing me to pay for the one guy to do a sexual act on me, right? And I was like, okay, whatever, it's nothing, right? So I make mention of that because it's gonna come back with the fact that, and I didn't think nothing of it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, if you're gonna pay me for it, then right? So, not realizing that these are grown men, not realizing that these are predators, not realizing many things, but in what was to come, because they was laying the groundwork for what was to come. And I just remember, well, I always kind of looked older, and they a lot about my age, and I was 18 when I was actually only 16. And I remember one time going over there, and they offered me the wine cooler, was one of those wine coolers, and I swear to you, I don't know what they put inside the wine cooler, but I just remember just barely sipping about like two or three different times, and becoming like really like lightheaded to the point to where I was laying on the bed like this. I remember just like feeling the need of just to like lay back, or like lay down, and I remember getting real hot. So, and within like 5 or 10 minutes, completely blacked out. And I remember when I finally came to, it was almost like midnight, and I was like, oh shit, I'm late, right? Late, late getting home. And I remember waking up, and I felt like this pain, like, you know what I mean? Like, they had performed like sex on me. And I always wrestle with this particular thing, this particular situation, for several different reasons. First and foremost, I always blame myself for going over there. First and foremost, and it wasn't until like a couple of years ago that I finally felt comfortable to share it but they raped me. I was raped, and I just remembered like trying to hide it because I felt as though like it was my fault or I brought it upon myself. So how could I even attempt to, on top of like, damn, like here I am, a victim again. Like these are all the things that's playing in my head. Um, like here I am, like a victim again, and I like if you would have like looked at the things that was going on around that time, it'll make sense on why there was a downhill spiral because of the fact I couldn't open up, and I felt so shamed and so guilty because I felt as though I knowingly put myself in that situation. I knowingly volunteered to go over there multiple times, and I blame myself for it, and I just couldn't fathom like sharing that I was raped. Man, boy, man, that's what I'm telling myself, that like you don't get raped. Like like how can, and I never told a soul about it. I never told a soul about it. Despite just the scars and the bad things that happened not long after that as a effect of byproduct of it. And now I can see, I understand what these teenage girls go to these parties, or and they blame themselves, or like they fought themselves, or like that internal war that happens sometimes, whatever. And I tell you this, nobody has the right to force you to do anything that you don't want to do. Nobody has that right. And and if that does happen, you have every right to prosecute the ass to the highest degree. And over the years and the inside work that I've done, and learning how to love myself, and learning how to build my confidence back up, and learning how to just realize that that don't define me. And with the let go of that guilt and that shame, that's why I'm creating this video now more than ever, because you have to release those things. Because the basis of Simple Love and the basis of what it is that I'm creating is to free you from that bondage of that guilt and that shame, that nobody has the right, no one has the right to force, it's your body, to force anything on you against your will. And you have every right to do what you have to do if that's the case. And so I wanted to share this also because it doesn't just happen to to girls. It happened to boys as well. And so I know, coming from a background of having already been raped when I was 6 years old, and then just the whole like victimization of when the family found out, and now it's like, how how could you like put your, like the things that you play in your head, and how you judge yourself, and how you down yourself, and how you, but know this, the day has come for you to live, The day has come to let go of those shackles. The day has come for you to live outside that bondage and to love you. And if you're watching this video, you are worthy to be loved. And now is the time more than ever to love you and to get free and to remain free, because you're worthy and you are worthy to be loved. You're worthy to live the life that you was placed here to be. You are worthy to have whatever it is that your heart's desire. And there's more to come.